Better way to relax is to take a day trip to a place like Alton Towers near Uttoxeter in Staffordshire. Alton Towers was once the home of the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury, who built a great rambling mansion of turrets and towers and hired armies of gardeners to landscape the surrounds early in the last century. But no one lives here now, and it's one of the North Midlands' most popular and beautiful playgrounds. Here there's leisure and space in true stately home style, but with excitement too, in funfair fashion. There's so much space, acres and acres of it. So if you want to leave the fairground's gaiety to others, there's time to find the quiet corners amongst the cedars and sequoia trees, the lakes and rhododendrons, and the most dramatic idea of all, an overhead cable railway that gives an aerial view of the spacious park. Down there, Alton Towers' own miniature railway winds through the trees and between the strange towers, turrets and fountains designed by the 15th Earl and his architects in the tradition of the 18th century folly.
In Alton Towers you will find you can leave your cares behind. Here's a new world just for you. There's so much to see and do. It's the only place to be. Fun for all the family at Alton Towers now.
He was visiting Alton Towers in Staffordshire to launch the leisure park's new monorail, built at a cost of £15 million.
Hello, everybody! Captain Kirk, alias actor William Shatner, arrived to a rapturous welcome. He was supposed to have been arriving with the navigator of the Starship Enterprise, Mr. Sulu, but apparently he got lost in fog at Heathrow Airport. Fans of the space saga, however, were there in numbers, and it seemed they trekked in from all over the galaxy.
Oh, the costume is a Vulcan priestess from one of the films. And when you get to my age and infirmity, it covers a lot. So it's comfortable.
Where is Vulcan, roughly?
Vulcan, it's about there.
Have you got a license for that?
Well, unfortunately, you can't get licenses for it on this planet.
The object of their affections had come to launch Alton Towers' new monorail, the first train emerging with a bang. Captain Kirk himself took command of the train. Monorails, it seems, are just as easy to handle as starships.
Is that how you drive the Enterprise?
You know, it's only when you're here at Alton Towers, Europe's largest leisure park, that you realize how different it is. A world of fun, fantasy and excitement in one of the most beautiful settings in England. You can stroll through breathtaking beauty to one of Alton's 4 separate centres, each with its own superb range of rides and shows. At Alton Towers, you'll find something for everyone. If it's excitement you want, like the corkscrew, then try the Black Hole, our new terrifying space ride in total darkness. And there's a whole new world of fun in Festival Park. If you don't fancy too much excitement, there are gentle rides the whole family can enjoy. And for the little ones, it's a day out of this world. There's no doubt about it. Alton Towers is a special magic for everyone. More than 60 rides and shows, all for the one price, $3.99. Now that's what I call value. So come along to Alton Towers. It's a lot nearer than Disneyland. Wherever you are, it's nearer than you think.
Tourism and leisure are now turning over some £10 billion every year. That's as much as the motor industry. But it means traffic jams and coach parking problems and a shortage of hotel rooms. Now the government wants to get to grips with these problems, to improve communications and entice tourists out of London to country towns, to stately homes and leisure parks. Leisure parks are big business. White-knuckle rides like the corkscrew at Alton Towers last year helped to attract 2 million people. Only the Tower of London took more.
What did you think of it?
It's great, it's very frightening.
Nice being frightened.
Yeah, being frightened. It's great.
Would you like to see more leisure parks like this in England?
Yes, yeah. A bit cheaper.
It costs £5, but all the rides are free. The profits and investments are enormous. Each ride costs up to £3 million.
Well, that's an experience. As a matter of fact, since Alton Towers was created in 1980, it's become the biggest leisure park in the whole of Europe. Some £50 million have been spent on it, and last year £3 million were the profits. So other people now want to get a look in and get their share too.
Ambitious plans for a wonder world at Corby in Northamptonshire call for a massive investment of £367 million. Britannia Park, newly opened, will spend £50 million. Alton Towers is expanding, and all that means more jobs.
At the moment, we are just over 1,000 jobs created here, and we will almost certainly double that by the time this plan is completed.
Is there enough room for more theme parks like this?
The answer is yes, there's room for one or two more, but obviously there is a limit to everything.
Planning permission to transform Battersea Power Station into a Tivoli garden of shopping galleries, restaurants, attractions and theatres is expected shortly. The government wants British heritage, like the gardens at Alton Towers, to attract more foreign capital and create even more jobs. Leisure and tourism already employ 1.25 million people, a figure that's growing by 50,000 every year. Sam Hall, News at 1, Alton Towers.
There is a land not so far away where you can indulge your fantasies all day. Because this is Alton Towers. It's the most unusual shops and restaurants, all right. But it's also shooting the Grand Canyon Rapids, the biggest in the world. It's gliding across the calmest of lakes past ancient towers. It's spinning and swinging through the air, or screaming round one of the biggest corkscrews in the country. It's fountains and follies and peace and quiet. It's sailing down the longest log flume in the world, playing Tarzan in the Kiddies' Kingdom, and rocketing down the black hole into space. It's another world at Alton Towers, where £5.99 buys you 800 acres of fun.
When Alton Towers, Europe's biggest pleasure park, announces £5 million worth of new entertainments, every bit as spectacular and terrifying as the death-defying corkscrew, only a fool would take the boast lightly. Tens of thousands of boys and girls and quite a few adults visit Alton Towers every year, hoping, quite simply, to be frightened out of their wits.
Well, I'm definitely not one of those people who enjoys being scared to death. In fact, I hate fun fairs, which is why they've sent me along today, because if I can survive this, anybody can. Oh, God! this is the magic carpet, and it can't be half as bad as that last thing, I hope. This is the real jewel in the crown, the black hole. And just to give you some idea of what I've let myself in for, we're going to be travelling at a stomach-churning 60 miles an hour through a vertical drop of 70 feet. I'm scared stiff. Right. I don't know where we're going because I can't see anything. There's a very steep drop down the other side. Somebody's laughing, but it's not me. Oh dear. Oh no!
There is a house deep in the forest that for hundreds of years has been devoted to pleasure. Now you can skyride past its ancient towers. There's nowhere in the world you can equal the day you spend at Alton Towers.
A stately home, once Europe's largest private house in a glorious wooded setting. It's in Staffordshire, right at the heart of England, just 40 miles north of Birmingham and perfectly placed between the M1 and the M6. As you admire its dignified tranquility, it's hard to believe that this is the crowning glory of a unique achievement that draws more than 2 million visitors a year. They come, quite simply, for the day out of a lifetime. Because this isn't merely a stately home, this is Alton Towers, Britain's great entertainment success story. Rated number 5 among the world's finest leisure parks, Alton was also voted Britain's most outstanding tourist attraction by the British Tourist Authority, and it's easy to see why. Up to now, nearly £70 million has been spent on theming more than 100 exciting attractions into the Alton estate. The fun starts the moment you arrive. Alton's graceful silver ride monorail whisks up to 5,000 passengers an hour from the ample car parks to the main entrance in a matter of minutes.
We are now approaching the Grand Canyon Rapids, beyond which the world's longest log flume can be seen.
On board, a brief commentary by a member of the Alton staff whets your appetite for the treats in store, and you can get a tantalizing sneak preview through the trees. Towers Street is your introduction to the park, a handsome boulevard lined with high-quality shops and boutiques. While the World Bazaar offers colourful craftwork for the home that has everything, the Wentworth exhibition celebrates one of the great names in ceramics. The story is told with imaginative displays, and there's even a potter on hand to provide a living link with the past. Next door, the Bond Street boutique offers the ultimate in prestige presents by Cartier, Gucci, and Yves Saint Laurent. There's even a bank in Tower Street in case you've left your cash at home, complete with foreign exchange for overseas visitors. At Alton, they've thought of everything, including getting you in the mood with the help of dancers and jugglers, a magician, stilt walkers, and cuddly bears. And here the fountains really do play. their jets arching like frisky caterpillars. Leaving Tower Street, you'll find that the mood at Alton is ever-changing. Whether you take the low road or the high road, there's never a dull moment. If you're feeling lazy, or you're not as mobile as you used to be, the £6 million sky ride is the only way to travel. Gliding in great glass bubbles and soothed by soft music, you soar above the treetops over one of the most breathtaking views in Britain. It's a totally new dimension, an experience that can't be matched anywhere else in the country. Combining pleasure with efficiency, always the keynote at Alton, the 54 gondolas, each carrying 12 passengers, can transport 6,000 visitors an hour, including those in wheelchairs. By contrast, if it's high excitement you're after, the ultimate in white-knuckle rides are ready when you are. Like the famous corkscrew in Festival Park, one of 5 main themed areas where thrill-seekers are temporarily parted from their stomachs. Strictly for none but the brave in Fantasy World, there's the new black hole, which makes the old one look distinctly tame. This pitch-dark space ride plunges you round impossibly tight bends and down seemingly sheer drops. And challenging the boldest landlubbers is the pirate ship, where passengers who want to keep up with the Davy Joneses can do just that, with a touch of terror thrown in. But at the gentler end of the scale, there are charming rides the whole family can enjoy, like Around the World in 80 Days, a colourful gondola trip round an enchanted lagoon with a different serenade for every ingenious setting. And swanning about is actively encouraged at Alton's Aqualand, where graceful vessels offer a tranquil 10-minute cruise in perfect safety. Nearby, Do You Fancy a Cuppa takes on a whole new meaning. The delightfully designed teapot ride will leave you stirred, but not shaken. And just think, there are still more than 90 attractions to go. In fact, there's so much at Alton that you need at least a full day to do it justice. What also makes it dazzlingly different is that it's kept spotlessly clean by a team who are themselves smart and unfailingly helpful. From Easter to October, Alton is a never-ending party, and the great house beams on it like a dowager who's let her hair down. Amazing to think that until the early 19th century, this was a bleak, barren valley. Then the far-seeing 15th Earl of Shrewsbury began an extraordinary transformation scene and gave Alton the other precious element that its competitors can never hope to imitate: the fabulous gardens. With dozens of gardeners and craftsmen, he created lakes, pools and fountains, notably the Chinese pagoda with its 70-foot plume of water. The Earl employed the architect Robert Abrahams to design the magnificent conservatories. And to give it all the grandest imaginable backdrop, he began the planting of thousands of trees and shrubs, many of them rare and exotic. Little wonder that it says on his memorial, "He made the desert smile." There's still a gardener in the smiling desert who's been here since 1924, when the estate was bought by a group of local businessmen. He says the very best time to visit the gardens is the 3rd week in May, when there's a riot of azaleas, rhododendrons, magnolias, weeping cherries, and many, many more. Even the great American leisure parks could never compete with this. They started 150 years too late. Setting the seal on Alton's all-round excellence is the planning and management needed to combine ancient and modern and display the best of both. One of the most popular rides is the giant log flume, naturally the longest in the world, because Alton Towers doesn't aim to be second best at anything. There's only one trip on a man-made waterway to equal it, and that's here too. Alton's sensational Grand Canyon Rapids. Carved out of a massive 12 acres, the river snakes and eddies uncannily like the real thing. Safe in round, buffered rafts, the riders feel like pioneers, surging on 2.5 million litres of water past cliffs and boulder islands and flanked at one stage by twin waterfalls. Brilliantly landscaped, it's an exhilarating 6-minute voyage of discovery. Because the raft bumps banks and rocks at random, it's different every time you're on it. With an eye on the uncertain British climate, John Broome, the man who created the new Alton Towers, has made sure there's plenty of indoor entertainment too. The resident circus, with up to 5 performances a day, showcases top international acts. There are also 2 special effects cinemas and the Alton Theatre in Talbot Street. That houses Alton's highly original fountain show, where light and colour synchronise with music in a delicate water ballet. The recreated Victorian thoroughfare hides other surprises behind its attractive facades. The superb dolls exhibition is the finest collection of antique dolls and toys in the country, beautifully displayed and easy to see. And the vintage theme has accelerated with the addition of the Motor Museum, where models like the lovely 1911 Austin shooting brake reflect the style and opulence of the old house itself. Just 13 years later, the nearby Cheddleton paper mills took delivery of their magnificent new fire engine. Elsewhere at Alton, inside and out, the variety of rides and shows is almost bewildering, appealing to every age. Naturally, it's a children's paradise. There are even specially designed areas just for little ones, like Kiddies Kingdom, where trained staff give mums and dads a breather while the youngsters have the time of their lives. The average visitor spends 6 hours in the park, and enjoying yourself is hungry work. That's why Alton Towers has a range of restaurants and kiosks to cater for every taste. If you want to take your time and splash out a bit, there's the Swiss Cottage restaurant, which overlooks the gardens. Backshaw's in Tower Street is the latest in free-flow self-service. And if you're in a real hurry to get back to the rides, the Talbot, Europe's largest fast food restaurant, can feed 2,000 an hour. Normally, where there's fast food, there's litter, but not here. An efficient task force keeps the whole park tidy, preserving Alton's enviable reputation for cleanliness. And if Alton is the tidiest leisure park this side of the Atlantic, it's also the one where there's the greatest sense of security. Parents bring their children knowing they'll be thoroughly entertained and perfectly safe. Where visitors genuinely come first, as they do here, they very often have to pay through the nose for the privilege. But at Alton, you only pay once. The entrance fee covers all the attractions, and parking is free. You could go on the Grand Canyon Rapids 10 times if you wanted to, and it still wouldn't cost you a penny more. So that's one of the park's great secrets. Quite simply, it's terrific value for money. A secret shared by Alton's 2.25 million visitors a year, who make a beeline for the park from all over the world. And in 1988, they'll get even more for their money. New attractions planned will make Alton more irresistible than ever. Alton Towers is special because it cares. It's beautiful, wholesome, safe, and above all, hugely enjoyable. It has a talent to amuse at the right price, combining the traditions of the past with the most exciting technology of the present to lead Britain's leisure industry into the future. Alton Towers. Rated among the top 6 leisure parks in the world, Alton Towers has been voted Britain's top tourist attraction by the British Tourist Authority. And the reason is plain to see. Well over 120 major attractions have been blended into this magnificent estate. Drawn by the unique appeal of Alton, 2.5 million visitors a year pour in from all over Europe to this, the very bullseye of Britain. Just 40 miles north of Birmingham, it's easily accessible by road, rail and air. The Churnet Valley is well worth a trip on its own account, and plans are well advanced to build self-catering accommodation and a top-class hotel in the Alton grounds. The adventure begins on the Silver Ride monorail. As the visitors stroll down this handsome boulevard, they're immediately aware of choice and variety. Shops, boutiques, stalls, a restaurant, and an ever-changing cast of street entertainers. In fact, you're never quite sure who you're going to meet next. At Alton, even a dog's life is enviable. Henrietta and her partner Henry Hound are the perfect hosts. Their charm and friendliness to young and old set the pedigree on a day to remember. There's never a dull moment in Tower Street It even has its own mobile radio station, Radio Pippin, complete with satellite dish and the world's most engaging DJ.
Well, this is my my little radio van, and I get all my buttons and my music and my cassettes and things like that, so I can broadcast throughout the day, and I also like give out little bits of information as to when the shows are in the circus and things like that.
All too conscious of Britain's uncertain climate, Alton Towers offers a wide variety of undercover entertainments too, including the Piazza Show with live performances twice daily. For movie buffs, the new 3D cinema brings action, suspense and melodrama into startling close-up. Small is Beautiful and the superb dolls exhibition, the finest collection of antique dolls and toys in the country, beautifully displayed and easy to see. The vintage theme continues in the extensive Motor Museum, where many of the world's great four-wheeled classics are permanently parked. Back in Towers Street, those who want to browse or buy presents can choose between the inexpensive and the extravagant. It's fitting, too, that the Midlands pottery firm of Wedgwood is represented here with both a shop and an exhibition. There's even a bank in Tower Street, in case you've left your cash at home, complete with foreign exchange for overseas visitors. Alton offers a complete world of entertainment for visitors of any age, and is planning even more for the future. Who could imagine, for instance, a more spectacular setting for firework displays and concerts, from rockets to rock? You can even hire the park for an evening and put on an unforgettable party. And leading up to Christmas, there are special features including Santa's Grotto, a children's wonderland, and seasonal fare in the restaurants. More ambitious still, 1989 sees the opening of Alton's Festival Farm, sponsored by the Britannia Building Society, to celebrate British Food and Farming Year. Looking further ahead, John Broome, the man who created the new Alton Towers, has set his sights on the capital. Combining the same flair and imagination so evident at Alton, he and his team are creating one of the most exciting inner-city leisure complexes in the world, the Battersea. Scheduled to open in 1990 at a cost of £200 million, this former cathedral of power will entertain millions of visitors a year and revitalise a neglected corner of central London. No wonder Henry Hound's in the mood to celebrate. The future for Alton and the Battersea looks even more exciting than the present. But underpinning the new enterprises will be the same attention to detail and quality that make Alton so special today. Visitors love it because there's room to breathe. It's easy and relaxed, full of excitement, yet serene and beautiful. It's clean, safe, wholesome, professional, and packed with all-round entertainment. With one charge covering all the attractions and half price after 2:30, it's also outstanding value for money. It combines the best traditions of the past with the finest modern technology to lead Britain's leisure industry into the 21st century. Alton Towers.
It's thrilling, chilling, exciting, and it's free. Get a free day out at Alton Towers only in the sun. Free entry, normally £8.99, but sun readers can go absolutely free, and all the rides are free too. It's wild, a fantastic free day out at Alton Towers for every sun reader only in the sun.
Who on earth gives you the biggest welcome? Where else can you enjoy the wildlife? The quiet life. The good life. Look into the future. Look into the past. Make waves. Make friends. Make whoopee! With thrills and spills. There's only one place on earth it could be. Alton Towers, where wonders never cease.
magic never ends.
Alton Towers proudly presents two spectacular new themed developments for 1992 to delight and thrill the entire family. Katanga Canyon and Gloomy Wood, featuring the sensational Haunted House dark ride. These developments are part of the first stage of a major expansion program for Alton Towers, with an investment of more than £10 million in 1992. Let's take a closer look at these developments as we preview these superb new attractions which will await visitors to Alton Towers next season. Did you ever dream of becoming a famous explorer or a comic book hero, an Indiana Jones perhaps, riding the rapids on a great African adventure? Well, at Alton Towers, some dreams can come true. On an island surrounded by 2.5 million litres of wild water is located the settlement of Katanga Canyon, gently themed in a colonial African atmosphere to stir thoughts of our Victorian ancestors and their pioneering, sometimes eccentric spirit on the dark continent. Here are adventures to thrill and entertain the young and not so young, where imagination can run free. A budding Indiana Jones can ride the exciting Congo River Rapids. And if there's energy to spare, hang on aboard the runaway mine train as it dips and turns before dashing down through a long, dark tunnel through which rapids ride rafts are coming in the opposite direction. It's super family fun all the way at Katanga Canyon for watchers as well as participants. And even after breathtaking rides, there's always time to recover one's composure, if necessary, in the relaxing surroundings of the Explorer Club, a unique restaurant complex to cater for taste buds of all ages. Katanga Canyon, an exciting new development with a unique family appeal that helps to make Alton Towers so special. You remember as a child that strange old house you used to pass on the way home from school. It stood back from the road, half derelict, almost hidden by the trees. The other kids said it was haunted, but of course you knew better. Haunted houses don't exist, do they? Do they? Nobody had lived in the house for years, but they said on a dark night, strange lights had been seen moving about inside, and ghastly screams had been heard when the moon was full. But that was just nonsense, wasn't it? But when someone dared you to take a look inside, you were rather quick to find an excuse not to. And now you're a bit older. If someone challenged you again, would you dare to explore the haunted house? Alton Towers challenges you. In 1992, Alton Towers' latest and most spectacular attraction dares you to enter its portals. The fiendishly weird occupants of the haunted house are just dying to meet you and your family. You needn't be frightened. All they want to do is make your visit a happy and relaxing one. The only problem is that their appearance is enough to scare anybody witless. So please be polite and don't show any fright. Your ghost hosts mean you no harm. They are at your service, dear guests, and they guarantee your visit will be a scream from beginning to end. The preparations for your visit are nearly complete. The supernatural occupants of the haunted house are getting the spiders to spin their creepy cobwebs, helping the dust to settle on the furniture and the lights to flicker in a delightfully gloomy way. When everything is ready, they will open their doors to visitors. We dare you to be one of them. Come in, take a pew, try to relax, and let your ghost hosts take you on a ride through their fearful abode. along cobweb-covered corridors and hilariously horrific hallways, down sinister staircases into strange cellars stacked with supernatural spooks. You'll float up into attics adorned with antiques, through grotesque Gothic gardens which echo with shrieks, into chambers which tremble with wall-to-wall screams, and through libraries with books of your nightmares and dreams. You'll be frightfully sorry your tour has to end, as out of the gloom down the steps you descend. You've just toured a mansion with strange ghostly powers, with a unique address: Haunted House, Alton Towers. The Haunted House Dark Ride, when completed, will cover an area the size of a football stadium. It will combine all the thrills and excitement of the traditional ghost train with state-of-the-art special effects to create a sensational attraction which will be unsurpassed anywhere in the world. Gloomy Wood and Katanga Canyon have been designed with the specific aim of providing thrilling entertainment for the whole family, young and old alike. These attractions represent the spearhead of a massive investment in the future of Alton Towers. And this first stage of the development will be backed up with a £3 million national TV and press campaign. They herald an exciting new era at Alton Towers, which will see it in a class of its own, as a truly unique attraction, and very much Britain's #1 park destination.
Alton Towers, eh, mate? Looking forward to all those rides?
Oh, yeah, going on that loop-de-loop.
It's called the corkscrew, Steve.
Yeah, and that thing with all the water where you splash down.
River rapid ride.
Yeah, and the train where...
The runaway mine
yeah,
train.
Yeah.
With a sneak preview of the new Haunted House ride as well.
This way.
See you in a bit then, yeah? OK, have a good time.
Steve, you weren't scared of a bungee jump?
Yeah, but there was no ghost there.
Come on.
Oh. Hi, Millie.
You're such a big girly. I mean, look, Dean's 11. He's quite happy to go on the ride.
Hey, Dean, you like designing ghosts, don't you?
Where's the ghost then?
Yeah.
It's over there.
See next to the ghost, Steve? Got your name written all over it.
Nah, go on.
Join him, Dean.
Hi. Well, you Steve, Mr. Gould. I'm really looking forward to this thing. Thank you. Mr. Gould, I reckon I've just seen a few of your parents here. Yeah, I don't know why I bothered, actually. Oh, no, I don't like him. I don't like spiders. Sorry. Thanks very much, Mr. Gill. That was absolutely brilliant. Come on, Dink, let's get some popcorn. Andy, Gabby, come on.
Well, there's nothing to do with my idea.
Oh, it was your idea.
My idea, mine. It was your idea. It was your idea.
Well, we've had our informal sneak preview, and now it's time for the formal opening. It's been done by my mates.
You can't say that.
What, formal opening?
You can say it's the formal opening, but you can't say who's doing it.
Yeah, but everybody knows that.
Shush! You're not allowed to mention his name.
Yeah, but he's not going to be watching the programme, is he?
I know that, Steve. We know who it is. They know who it is. You probably know who it is, but we can't tell you who it is.
I better go and tell him then, eh? Hey, Phil.
Sorry, got pictures.
It was good bumping into you again, Henry. Hey, that haunted house is good, isn't it?
Steve, we've already done this one.
Yeah, there are other rides, mate.
Oh, there? Yes. Great.
Come on.
Bye.
What you got me on this time, then?
It's called the Thunder Looper. Get your arms up, mate.
Right.
No sitting down on your butt. The world don't owe you. No sitting down in a rut. I wanna show you. Don't waste your energy on making enemies. Just take a deep breath and work your way up. Let's work. Be proud. Stand tall. Touch the clouds. Man and woman.
Oh, wow, man. That was brilliant. Oh, dear, oh, dear.
Don't know about you, dear, but I am absolutely tired out.
I'm completely exhausted. We've had a good time.
Had a brilliant day here, but all good things must come to an end. Time to go home,
They always
unfortunately.
do when the sun comes out
Yeah.
and you've lost Steve Johnson. Where is he?
I was swanning around somewhere.
Yeehaw! Come on, you two. This was an absolute beauty. Come on, Swan. Let's hit it. Woo!
You're sitting down on your butt.
This is Alton Towers. And this is Alton Towers. And this is Alton Towers. Welcome to the UK's most magical experience. Set in 500 acres of beautifully landscaped gardens and overlooked by the impressive architecture of what was once Europe's largest and finest private residence, Alton Towers is a constantly surprising and thrilling experience for any who visit. Whatever your mood, Alton Towers can match it. And the pay one price ticket means that any mood you have, be it thrills and spills, smiles and laughter, or simply daydreaming, can be satisfied again and again. Because once you get into the park, every ride and attraction is free. Glide into the monorail station from the ample free parking, enter through Towers Street, and let the experience begin. You're in the darkest African bush. Savage tribal rhythms fill the air. You're on the mine train, and it's out of control. Late one night, you're caught in the storm. Taking refuge, you make your first mistake, a graveyard. But your biggest mistake is to seek shelter in the spooky house on the hill, because this house is haunted. Many who visit Alton Towers are brave. But to ride the Thunder Looper, you have to be very brave. Alton Towers has over 125 rides and attractions, ranging from the thrilling to the serene, from the enchanting to the amusing. You can shop, walk, laze or laugh, ride or watch, stay dry and get wet, all in one visit. And when you return, there's nearly always something new to experience, as Alton Towers is committed to new developments, constantly adding unique rides and attractions to make sure that Britain's #1 themed leisure park stays #1. In 1992, Katanga Canyon and Gloomy Wood were created, featuring the Haunted House Dark Ride, the runaway mine train, and the Congo River Rapids. In 1993, the land of make-believe became a delightful #1 hit with younger visitors. And in 1994, Alton Towers will unveil its most remarkable development to date, a unique development representing an unparalleled investment of £12 million in 2 new rides, Toyland Tours and Nemesis. Now you can see why Alton Towers is Britain's most magical experience.
When Sharp asked us to try out their new view cam, naturally we jumped at the chance. This screen's a great idea because you don't end up stuck behind a viewfinder. You can point it just about anywhere, so you don't miss any of the fun. I found I could even film myself. And with the view cam's instant playback, we all enjoyed what I'd shot before we flew off. The Sharp view cam's so easy to use. I can, you can, we can, view cam.
Escape to another world. Experience the thrills. Surprise yourself with your own laughter. Relax in stunning surroundings. This is all part of Britain's most magical experience, Alton Towers. And now, from the park that brought you, Katanga Canyon, the runaway mine train, and the haunted house, comes the ultimate thrill ride sensation. A sensation to take you to the edge of your seat and the limit of your senses. It started as a routine excavation, but what was discovered was far from routine.
It was found on site by one of the workers. We thought it might mean something.
Yes, it does. It's a warning. Our earliest record is 700 years old, but the inscriptions indicate events which possibly precede 1,000 years BC. Analysis of the text reveals some form of cult worship, where local populations were hypnotized and drawn trance-like to a specific site. The site was almost certainly the home of a life form. An alien life form. Leaders of the people would chant the incantation here. This was intended to evoke the creature to appear before them.
And what would happen when the creature appeared?
It would feed.
Nemesis. Hidden, it slept. Disturbed, it awoke. And once awoken, it fed. hidden for a millennium, discovered by man, and pinned down with steel. Now, you can take the ultimate challenge at Alton Towers in 1994. Ride and survive.
This is the site of Nemesis the Ride. Now, for the technically minded, it is a multi-inversion suspended roller coaster. But for the rest of you, it's just designed to scare you. Now, down there is the station, which is the start of the ride. When we first rode the prototype, there was no doubt it is the most sensational physical experience of any amusement ride in the world. Your feet are dangling in space. So when you turn upside down, it really is just you and the sky. There's no vehicle around you, and it is the nearest thing to flying that you can get. Right, the station, it might just look like a load of concrete and steel at the moment, but in a few months' time, this is going to look like a horrible, great, slimy alien monster. Now, the ride starts there and goes up in that direction, right up to the treetops, turns, comes down here, does an upside-down corkscrew under the monorail there, back down through that hole, and up over the top of the station where it does a zero-G roll and turns upside down. Back down there, and then climbs up to the top of those trees where it does a stall turn. Drops back down again to the bottom of this hole, does a vertical loop through a tunnel, out of the tunnel there, does another corkscrew over there, into another underground tunnel under the station, another stall turn, and back into the station. Wow!
I will make no bones about it. I see Nemesis as the Jurassic Park of 1994, and I've got £5 million that is going to make sure that nobody can move or hear anything without finding out about Nemesis and the other new rides at Alton Towers. In 1993, we spent £4 million on the Land of Make-Believe. That was always just phase 1 of the development. Phase 2 comes next year with the opening of Toyland Tours, which is a £2 million fabulous new dark ride. We intend everybody in the UK to hear nothing else but Alton Towers next year.
Wow!
Go to sleep, you two. Sweet dreams.
Recapture your childhood at Alton Towers in 1994 and take an amazing waterborne ride around an enchanted world where toys make presents for the most magical party of all time, Toyland Tours.
Just made it. I told us the electrics would be a bit hairy, but as usual they just hide in their shells. Just a little joke. Right, time to go. Come on, you two. All right. What have we got? Well, we've got jellies and ice creams, rides and castles, toffees and turrets, soldiers and teddy bears, but most important of all, something completely and utterly brilliantly new and thrilling. And all you've got to do is remember that toys make presents, presents make parties, and parties make happiness. So come on. Kids, you've got to bribe them these days. The Land of Make-Believe. Now this is the best. I can eat 6 of these and never feel sick. The Cadbury's Chocolate House. Yum, 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 yum. A magic theatre. The Carousel. Oh, the Land of Make-Believe. But the best is yet to come. And you mustn't tell anyone, especially your parents, because we're off to my favouriteest place in the whole wide world. Toyland! Toys make presents, and presents make parties, and parties make happiness. There's some good ideas. A homework robot. What a clever idea. A giant inflatable dinosaur. What a silly idea. Then there's the ball striking machine. And that's the teddy bear studying department. Uh-oh. Overload. And there's some bouncy castles that, quite frankly, can jump higher than anybody else. And there's the completely mixed up dollies, which is why they're probably called dolly mixtures. All these wonderful presents are made by the toy. And that's why I love this place so much. Because toys make themselves so much better than we do. Don't you find? But the best thing of all is the party. And I love parties because parties make me incredibly happy. Uh-oh, someone's coming. Quick, back to bed before they find you. Come again sooner, won't you? It was great having you. Me? Oh, why live here? So I'm going round again. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Done it again. Too much jelly.
Toyland Tours and Nemesis represent a £12 million investment by Britain's #1 theme park, an investment that is part of a continued commitment to making sure that the magic never ends. Experience that magic in 1994.
Nemesis, the awesome new ride at Alton Towers. Sit back, it's fright time.
From the pen of one of Britain's greatest children's writers comes a charming spectacular of costume, performance and grace. Beatrix Potter's Peter Rabbit and Friends on Ice. It's a whodunit, or rather a wheregonit.
Peter Rabbit has lost his kerchief.
And when you have a problem, you need the help of friends. Like Lucy.
Jeremy Fisher, Esquire, at your service.
Jeremy Fisher.
That's me.
Mrs. Tiggy Winkle. The two bad mice. And Mrs. Tittlemouse. But watch out for some rather panic-stricken birds and Mr. McGregor on the rampage with his watering can. With lavish costumes, specially composed music, a supporting cast of top skaters, and a unique stage setting, Beatrix Potter's Peter Rabbit and Friends is just one part of the magic that is created for younger visitors at Alton Towers.
Right, that's it. You're barred. Old MacDonald singing barn at Alton Towers.
Where in Britain can you twist and be twisted? Unwind with old friends after meeting new ones. Take a nap in one bed or beside another. In a place that's all the family's cup of tea. And where nothing is ever quite what it seems. It could only be the new Alton Towers Hotel. Call 0990 2040 60.
The ride itself. We put the most popular parts to the test. Everything from the Big Dippers to the smallest rooms. And the verdict is clear. The best known will have to try much harder. Once inside, you're in their hands. Food, entertainment and comfort all depend on their standards. Britain now has 35 theme parks. We chose the top 2, plus the new kid on the block. We start at Alton Towers, Britain's most popular commercial attraction. Today it'll be subjected to a barrage of consumer tests. We'll measure the costs, the queues and even the thrills using these special heart monitors. But the most important value for money indicator is a typical family. The Beckwiths, Jeff, Mandy, Greg and Karen. They paid £62 to get in. It's the most expensive park in Britain. Make the trip to Staffordshire and this is what you get. The whitest of knuckles. This ride, Nemesis, has a force 4 times greater than gravity. Heart rate's rocketed to 170. 70 is normal. This ride goes faster than a Formula 1 racer. But this is where you're likely to spend more of your time in the rain, and it's much slower.
It's a theme park, but what's the theme? The only common link between the rides that I can see is queues. The chances are you'll spend a lot longer waiting in line than you will riding the attractions.
To get on the top 5 rides took 2 hours standing like this. For those waiting, there's no shelter, no entertainment, just the theme park version of a sheep pen. It's carefully laid out. When you think the queue's over, you turn a corner and there's more of it.
Mum, I'm not queuing up.
20% of the attractions are undercover. Storybook Land is new, and it was a hit with our youngest test pilot.
Looks so real.
This is an industry that thrives on innovation, but there are no new white-knuckle rides here this summer. Mealtime. Don't expect luxury. It's fast food and slow queues. Our family waited 20 minutes. Burgers and chips all round, £18. So, the verdict.
I like the Nemesis because it was really fast and you went upside down and my heart rate went up to 170.
The queue for Nemesis, when we arrived there, was approximately 40 minutes. Now that was the longest we had to queue, but I have heard of people having to queue for up to 2 hours.
Alton Towers has a slogan. The family suggest a change.
If you want to experience a really good white-knuckle ride, you've got to go to Alton Towers. Unfortunately, you need more than one day.
I would go back to Legoland because it was so much fun.
We all had burgers and chips and a Coke, ice cream. At Legoland, you could have, the 4 of us could have that for under £20.
We think Legoland is the best value for money.
#1 theme park puts so much magic on the map. Alton Towers. In your dreams, you're already there.
The brand new Ripsaw at Alton Towers. Can you pass it?
Every year, millions of people experience something that only the UK's #1 theme park can offer. Magic. Alton Towers, Britain's most magical experience. But the important thing to remember about magic is it's unpredictable. So this year at Alton Towers, maybe we'll be invaded or blow up the towers. We might say goodbye to some spooky old friends. And we'll welcome the megastars, because if there's one thing that Alton Towers brings to any event, it's magic.
Alton Towers, 40-acre arena, 30,000 capacity, 10,000 car parking spaces, helicopter landing pad, major brand catering outlets, established event management infrastructure, the ultimate venue.
Alton Towers, it's a magical venue. Alton Towers, it's a magical, spooktacular. Dig up a few friends and experience a spine-tingling night of themed entertainment. Halloween at Alton Towers. It's when the spooks get loose. Experience the thrill, then a chill. It's another kind of magic.
The invasion of our planet is now...
Watch the skies.
The first attacks by alien craft have been in the sky.
Witness the power. Experience.
The military are deploying forces in all major towns and cities in an attempt to neutralize the threat.
The UK's largest firework and special effects spectacular. Alton Towers, Britain's most magical venue. Alton Towers, Britain's most magical events. Alton Towers, the magic makes it happen.
Look down.
Oblivion, the world's first vertical drop roller coaster at Alton Towers.
The land where fun began is now open. Oakland at Alton Towers.
Stone Age with the Space Age to draw in the crowds for its new season.
Alton Towers in Staffordshire has gone back to the dawn of civilization for inspiration to bring its latest attraction to life. And the park also plans to use the latest technology to cut down on queuing time for the most popular rides.
Meet the Ugg family. They've been dragged from the Stone Age to the end of the 20th century and persuaded to spend the summer at Alton Towers. From tomorrow, visitors can meet, talk to and dance with their ancestors. Ugland is the latest attraction at the theme park, transforming the area around the infamous corkscrew ride. Managers hope the whole family will enjoy interacting with Ugland's bizarre inhabitants.
We've got continual street theatre, so it's actually run by the Ugg family, who will be out and about all day entertaining everyone. We've also got some great innovative participation games which will be fun for people to play and watch.
The designers call it the land where fun began, and the emphasis is on interaction. Children and parents will be invited to join in the Ugg dance. Today's test audience certainly seemed to get in the swing of things.
They're good. It's brilliant.
brilliant. I really like it. It's really good fun. It's really funny.
Oh, well, you see, it's hard work because I'm a maintenance man, you see. And watch it, yo. And I go around with my hammer and I do the maintenance, and there's always loads to do.
Killing dinosaurs, I do quite a bit of that, and looking for men.
Another innovation at Alton Towers this year is the idea of the virtual queue. Its aim is to cut waiting times on the big rides. Hello. What you do is you let yourself through this turnstile here. That automatically releases a ticket. There's a time on the ticket. You can go off, do your own thing. Then there's only a short wait for the two most popular rides, Nemesis and Oblivion.
Treat in.
Assume the position.
Assume the position. In.
Assume the position.
And down.
Prepare for air.
Alton Towers theme park in Staffordshire.
It's called Air, and it's supposed to make you feel as if you're flying. Make me feel
I can think of another word.
Yes, we persuaded Suzanne Page to take to the sky.
I can't believe I was agreeing to do this! Here we go!
It's the world's first flying roller coaster. That takeoff wasn't very good. It's designed to make you feel like you're in free flight. That's not quite the feeling I got. I don't think I'll be doing that again in a hurry. Oof. For those brave or daft enough to try, the best way to ride air is to let your arms and legs dangle. For a minute and a half, you're subjected to swoops, rolls and dives on the ride that's cost £12 million to develop. It's supposed to exhilarate rather than scare you, but pupils from Rycross School in Roster loved it.
Brill, best ride ever. It's just the way you sit in it. It's different to all the others, so just sitting forward, you like flying. I thought it was a brilliant ride. One of the best ones the Towers have ever built. It's like you're just flying, really. Like, there's nothing holding you in.
If you dare to fly on air, the theme park opens on Saturday. Suzanne Page, Central News.
Here I come.
that's bursting with fun. Europe's first water park hotel. Splash.
The Tweenies are on stage at Alton Towers with live shows every day. Hands up if you want to come and play. The Tweenies, now at Alton Towers.
Controversial genetic surgeon has vanished, leaving behind a legacy of unfinished research into the reanimation of the dead. People fear that this is just the beginning of something terrible.
The forensic investigation has been stepped up within the grounds of Dr. Nicholas Rudin's home. Police confirm they have no further clues at this time. This is Richard O'Connor reporting live for ATNC.
As this day draws to an end, the search for Dr. Nicholas
Rudin Dr. Rudin's controversial experiments into the reanimation of the dead, right or wrong. You decide on tonight.
Do you really believe that zombies may be involved in the disappearance of Dr. Rudin? The undead have risen. A legion of zombies has emerged, drawn to the home of their creator. You can run, but you can't hide. Evil has spawned from the heart of this house. You must face your fear. Prepare to duel.
Clean up this summer with free tickets to Alton Towers, only with Imperial Leather.
Advance book an unforgettable day at Alton Towers from just £18 and ride the new Spinball Wizard. It's flipping crazy!
You said nothing could top Nemesis. You said not even Oblivion or Air. But what you hadn't seen coming was Rita. Rita, Queen of Speed, your best Alton Towers ride ever.
The new Charlie and the Chocolate Factory ride at Alton Towers.
The most absolutely fun place ever!
For absolutely brilliant prices, visit altontowers.com.
Hi there kids, I'm Dolly, the lollipop lady, and I'm gonna show you how to have a good time in driving school, so listen to me now. You're gonna get into a car when I say so, just press down the pedal and off you go. When you lift your foot off the pedal, then you go slow. Wow, kids, you're learning fast. Go little drivers, have a blast. Make sure you stop when the light is red. And when you've seen that it's turned green, keep going straight ahead. I just know you're gonna love the ride. Make sure you drive on the left-hand side. When you get to a crossroads, slow down and stop. Look both ways, and if it's clear, then cross. If you break down or get stuck, just stay in the car and raise your hand. An instructor will come and get you moving just as quick as he can. When you hear this music play, the zebra crossing where you'll find me. I'll show you how to meet your friends and family. Then you finish the test, so well done. Don't forget to look for your driver's license. But most of all, don't forget to have fun. There's no eating or drinking on the course, 'cause if you hit a bump, you'll end up covered in juice or tomato sauce. While you're in the car, you better stay sitting down. If you try to stand, you'll end up looking like a clown. When you're driving in your car, you're looking at a so flash. But don't go bumping into things or you'll cause a great big crash. There's no running, 'cause you might trip and fall. And everybody knows that that's no fun at all. Always keep your arms and legs inside the car. And driving with your hands on the steering wheel is easier by far. There's one more rule for the adults, it's the very last. No grown-ups are allowed on the track, 'cause we go so very fast. No eating or drinking on the course. Remain in the car seated at all times. No bumping. No running. Keep your arms and legs inside the car. And remember, kids, most of all, have fun.
Escape to Mutiny Bay, the new pirate land at Alton Towers Resort.
Stay for days when you escape to Alton Towers Resort.
It's the end of an era at Alton Towers today. The Corkscrew, Europe's first double-loop roller coaster, but you knew that, is being retired after thrilling the crowds for 28 years. In its time, it's carried over 43 million riders and travelled over 820,000 miles. Well, the park is now in its closed season, but has been opened especially today for thrill seekers to have one last ride. Joining them is our correspondent, Fiona Trott. Well, was it thrilling, Fiona, or is it to be thrilling?
I'm going to say a roller coaster in the rain. It doesn't get much better than that, does it really? But as you say, not any old roller coaster, of course, Europe's first double-looped roller coaster, 28 years old now, but of course it's going to be dismantled very, very shortly. And as you say, we're joined by a bunch of people here who are going to be riding it for the very last time. You are from Coaster Force, you do this a lot, so you've been on it more than once. What's the appeal?
It's just great fun. It's just, you don't get many rides like this nowadays, and you just get on them and you just have great fun. That's the idea. We just come here to have fun.
Where have you come from? There's a massive group of you, about 20, 30 people.
Yeah, well, we're from all over the country. I'm from Southampton, Mark's from Essex, we've got people from Milton Keynes. Where else are we from? Everywhere. All over the country we come here just to give the Corkscrew the send-off it deserves.
Aren't you going to be sad to see it go?
Very, very, very sad. For me, it's a big deal just because I really love the heritage of older coasters. So for this, being the first coaster in this country to do anything like it, to see it go, it's a really big deal, and it is going to be really, really sadly missed. But it does kind of, you get the feeling that it's going for a reason, and it's going to give us something bigger and better, because that's the other side of it as an enthusiast. You're always looking for that next big thing. So to see it go, it's sad, but bring on the next one.
It's true, isn't it? Because there's another roller coaster above us, the Rita, which is a lot faster. People are screaming on this one. They're not screaming on the Corkscrew anymore, are they?
No, I mean, the Corkscrew nowadays is considered very much a family coaster. It's always the one that you take the little ones on for their very first go. You know, they get their very first thrill legs. And so they scream, but the adults have kind of done it already. So again, like I say, now they're going to move away from that and put something even bigger and better in, and we'll hear those screams again, and it will definitely be something that will I think, compare next to Rita easily.
Talk about the first thrill. Phil, you were on it for the very first time when it opened.
Yeah.
You got the certificate to prove it
Yeah,
as well,
back in
haven't you? What was it
1980.
like? Do you remember?
Terrifying. There's nothing like it around at the time at all. You just haven't seen anything as huge. It looks tiny nowadays, but at the time it was just immense. It was just an incredible experience. My dad took me and my sister on it, and he's never been on a roller coaster since. He came off the ride absolutely green. He was terrified, absolutely petrified.
So what are you going to be doing for the rest of the day? You're going to get as many rides in as you can. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we'll get as many rides in as we can on Corkscrew while we're down here. Do the rest of the park as well, obviously, because there's some other great coasters here. But yeah, certainly lots of rides. I'll be here for 3:30 for the last ride, so we can possibly get on as well.
Have you ever lost anything on the corkscrew?
I haven't, no.
Okay, it's a good reason for me asking that, because of course Alton Towers have told us today that an artificial limb was found underneath the roller coaster here, money, watches and pieces of underwear as well. So if over the past 28 years you've lost something, get in touch with them and I'll try and get it back to you.
Now look here, Fiona Trott, this is the question, okay? Have you or do you intend to ride on it yourself?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite hear that. Can you say that again?
Well, all right, I won't repeat the question, perhaps. Are you going on it yourself?
All right.
No?
We'll see.
I thought that was a diplomatic attempt to avoid the question, Fiona, but never mind.
Yeah, it was, yes.
Thank you very much with all those happy punters there at Alton Towers. They are terrifying. I went on one years and years ago, but I don't think I could do it now. My grandchildren, oh, they don't mind at all. Right, OK.
Escape to Mutiny Bay, the pirate land at Alton Towers Resort. Now with added sharks. At Shark Bait Reef, by Sea Life.
If you go down to the woods today, you'd better not go alone.
Only £13 entry on Friday the 13th.
If you go down to the woods today, you'd better not go.
Accident on a ride at Alton Towers amusement park. 4 people have been taken to hospital, 2 of them by air ambulance and 25 others treated for minor injuries.
It happened, ironically, on the runaway mine train. The front carriages separated and crashed into another part of the ride. The ride's since been closed. Colin Pemberton reports.
The runaway train did literally run away today, injuring 29 people in the process. 3 women were hurt, suffering whiplash, spinal and abdominal injuries. An on-site paramedic team was on the scene within minutes.
The response was as professional as one would hope from us and the emergency services, and together we worked quickly with our own first responders and the emergency services to get to the passengers and tend to them as quickly as we could.
It was in a part of the theme park called Katanga Canyon. The runaway mine train is one of its oldest rides. It's been here since 1992. Park bosses say it's never had a problem before. In fact, they describe its safety record as impeccable.
There's been no history of problems on the runaway mine train of the sort that has happened today. You know, it's a very popular ride. We're not the only park with one, and we've had no history of problems with it.
The ride was full with 46 adults and children when it came apart in the centre. The front carriage rolled back, crashing into the section behind. An investigation is being carried out by the park's management team and the health and safety executive. In the meantime, the ride remains closed. Colin Pemberton, BBC Midlands Today, Alton Towers.
And we have the latest on those injured. Just 2 remain in hospital and are expected to
like roller coasters, and thankfully we don't all have to go on them. We just send reporters instead, like you, don't we?
The first and the last time I've ever been on a roller coaster was for GMTV, and because you're filming it, you don't just go round once. You have to go round 3 or 4 times. But
not a good experience.
Never again.
Poor Rachel Harrison had a similar experience too. I remember that one. Marcella is at a brand new roller coaster up at Alton Towers for us today. How are you feeling, Marcella?
Pretty nervous, John. They've dragged us back into position. We're ready to go, and it doesn't help that they've told us there's a big surprise that makes this roller coaster the first of its kind in the world. My heart is pounding. I'm normally a sort of gentle teacups ride sort of a person. Justin, however, is an expert. Justin, quickly, before we go, top tips for me.
Keep your eyes open. Don't close your
eyes. Keep my eyes open. Oh, my goodness. OK. Guys, are we ready to go? Yeah! OK. This is it. Thank you. We're going. See you soon! Oh no! Oh God! Oh God! Okay. Oh no! We haven't even started yet. That's quite high. That's quite high.
That's 60 feet.
That's 60 feet. That's high. It feels high.
Not too high.
It feels really high. It feels high to me.
Not even at the top yet.
Oh, and oh dear. What goes on? Is now the time to say I don't want to do this anymore?
It's a bit late. Unfortunately, it's far too late.
Oh my God! Oh my. Okay.
We're at the top now.
No! Oh no! 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 Oh God! Okay. Okay. Open your eyes. Open.
See how genteel that was?
Okay, okay, okay. Is it finished now? Now it's gone
you
black.
wish it had finished. Now comes the surprise.
No, no. What's it gonna do? I don't want it to do
You're about to
anything
find
bad.
out.
I don't want it to do anything bad. Oh my God! Oh my God! No! And now it's going backwards! Oh my God! Oh my God! Okay. Is it finished now?
It's nearly finished.
Okay.
You're one of the first people ever to drop vertically on a roller coaster.
Okay. 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 Justin, you're the expert. Oh, you survived. So what makes that so different? What makes that unique?
Well, it has the world's first vertical drop on a roller coaster.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Can I get out now? Can I get out now?
How you feeling, Marcella? How you feeling?
You loved every minute of it, Marcella. Fantastic fun.
Okay,
well done.
It actually was quite fun.
Alton Towers Resort. Book now at altontowers.com.
Wake up smiling.
Experience Ice Age in a whole new, extra dimension at the new Alton Towers Ice Age 4D Cinema, where the special effects put you right inside the action. Book now at altontowers.com.
With guards on the gates and black-clad attendants barking their orders, Alton Towers is injecting its usual fear factor into the family fun day out.
4 shall enter the lift first, followed by group 3.
And there's a new twist to the latest ride pulling in the crowds at the Staffordshire theme park, even though the TV advert for Nemesis Subterra gives nothing away. The attraction has been given a 12A certificate by the British Board of Film Classification, the first time they've ever rated something other than a movie.
It's this immersive experience, very similar to you get when you're watching a film. So they came and they visited and they gave it a 12A classification. So on the back of that, we've actually given it a 1.4 metre height restriction.
Which could be bad news for the Holbrook family from Spalding in Lincolnshire. Young George is only 11. He's with his parents, so that's fine, but is he tall enough and man enough? Do you think it's going to be too scary for you? Are you sure?
I'm sure.
You are chickening out.
Yeah.
Why?
Because from what I've heard, it's extremely scary and I get scared really easily.
Luckily, George measures up and he's in. So what is it all about? Well, it's the prequel story to the Nemesis roller coaster, launched back in 1994, with a buried alien awakening after 1 million years. How did it get here? Nemesis Subterra will tell you, 40 riders at a time. And believe me, this is one egg you won't want for Easter. Well, this is the central core, and this is where things really start to get moving. All the seats just disappear. Be warned, it's a long way down. The Holbrooks are amongst the survivors this time round, so how was it?
Yeah, very good.
Brilliant,
yeah. We weren't ready for that, were we?
I've got wet pants.
Nemesis Subterra is open now, so if you can pluck up the courage, and you're over 1.4 metres of course, you might want to give it a go. But if you're the type that scares easily, you might prefer to wait outside and let the kids do the screaming instead. Andy Bevan, Central Tonight.
Join us. You belong to the Smiler.
the Smiler, the world's first 14-looping roller coaster. Book now at altontowers.com.
Alton Towers Live, the biggest pop day out of the summer, featuring Ollie Murs, Rizzle Kicks, Labyrinth, Little Mix, James Arthur, Conor Maynard, Stooshy, and Union J, all on stage at Alton Towers Live 2013, Saturday, July 6. All tickets also include Alton Towers theme park entry. Get your tickets now at altontowers.com.
Well, full marks to Tom, waiting while Sophie puts on all that makeup.
They can dance, can't they?
Yeah,
Very
they
well.
certainly can. Now, talking about waiting, it's nearly over for roller coaster enthusiasts. Alton Towers will open its new £18 million ride called the Smiler next Sunday.
Yes, with 14 loops to the previous record of 10, it's the largest roller coaster ever built. Only a dozen people have been on it so far. A slightly reluctant Callum Watkinson was one of them.
A world beater for the thrill seeker. With more meters of track and more loop-the-loops than any ever built, this biggest of Big Dippers will coast into the record books when it opens to the public a week on Sunday.
What we set out to do here was to build the biggest and best ride of its kind in the world. So what you got here is a record breaker. It does 14 upside-down loops, which is far more than any other ride in the world. It's 3 times the size of Oblivion. If you think Nemesis is big, this is twice the size of Nemesis. So we set out to build a gigantic ride. We've crammed more roller coaster track in the space, as you can see, than any other ride in the world. So it is just one mass of inversions.
I did suggest we bring you this story without the need actually to ride the thing, but our editor was having none of that. So I got the chance to test the technology that's taking the guesswork out of the gut-flipping business.
Using expression recognition software, ride designers can now pinpoint exactly what you're feeling as you go round some of these twists and turns. This is thrill-seeking as an exact science.
There may come a day when the rides themselves can even respond to these facial signals.
At the moment, you have to wear a helmet with a camera in a fixed position pointing at you. But what if the camera was in the harness of the seat in front of you, pointing straight back at you and measuring how you feel about the ride? Well then, that ride could change depending on how you feel. This is absolutely scream if you want to go faster for the modern generation.
Well, the designers say their purpose in building this ride was to distort your view of reality so that when you get off you won't know who you are or where you are. Thrilling, certainly, but I'm not sure it ticks that box. Wallum Cadkinson, VTI News, Stafford Towers, Altonshire. What?
CBeebies Land at Alton Towers Resort. It's a wonderful new place where children can learn and play with some of their favourite CBeebies friends. Escape to CBeebies Land at Alton Towers Resort. Book now at altontowers.com.
Make the most of your visit to Alton Towers Resort with an extraordinary stay in the new Enchanted Village. Careful, the feeling's contagious. Book your short break now at altontowers.com.
I and the whole team were totally devastated by what happened yesterday. And first and foremost, our thoughts are with those that were injured and their families. Our heart goes out to them. Look, our business is about giving people safe, fun, memorable experiences, and with the emphasis on safety. And yesterday, something dreadful happened. You know, those 2 cars should not have been on the same piece of track. Technically, that should not have happened. When I arrived here yesterday, I took the decision that we wouldn't open the park today. the emergency services were on site, there was a lot of media, but today we'll be doing very deep and detailed investigations.
We know, though, that there were problems with the Smiler, there were problems with this roller coaster. It had serious incidents before. What did you know about the problems and why was it running?
Well, I think there's an awful lot of misreporting going on about that. The Smiler is a relatively new ride. All rides have teething problems when they open. And, I've made the point to other people that actually guest safety on those sorts of incidents is not really a major issue, in the sense that when you're on a roller coaster car, the car can't come off the track and you are strapped in and restrained in the seats. So actually, when you have a glitch and the ride stops, it's not really an issue of safety to the riders. What happened yesterday is something that there are other fail-safes for. There are braking locks that should stop two cars being on the same section of track, and somehow that didn't work the way it was meant to, which is why we need to do the investigation today.
Can I just ask you to comment? Some eyewitnesses have said that they were concerned about the amount of time it took people to reach those injured in that carriage. What do you say to that?
Well, I've again heard reports. I mean, I can't comment on all of them. I haven't had all the reports from my own team. The emergency services were on site as quickly as possible. As usual, they've done an excellent job. One of the complications was that they wanted to get a stable platform before removing the most seriously injured from the ride. But our team are very well trained. We go through measures against these horrible possibilities all of the time. And I would say probably that there wouldn't have been any laxness in our reaction to it.
Escape to CBeebies Land at Alton Towers Resort. It's a wonderful place where children can learn and play with some of their favourite CBeebies friends. And now, new for 2015, join the Octonauts on their roller coaster adventure. Hop on board! Book your short break now at altontowers.com.
Roller coasters are changing forever. Are you ready to experience interstellar space travel? Galactica, the universe's first roller coaster fully dedicated to virtual reality. Journey beyond a ride. Galactica. Book now at altontowers.com.
Like many thousands of young people, the judge said, they went to a theme park to enjoy the illusion of danger. But never should they have been exposed to the real risk of a needless accident they were fortunate to have survived.
The court have imposed what we believe is a record fine for the industry. But of course, money alone will never replace limbs nor heal these psychological scars.
He said those who were injured that day were shocked and disappointed at the catalogue of errors that led up to the crash on a ride that had been unsafe since it opened. The judge described the safety procedures in place at Alton Towers that day as a shambles. The crash, he said, was an entirely foreseeable, catastrophic failure. It was made worse by the pain and distress caused by delays in arranging access for emergency services. Changes have been made, but he said the fine should have a real financial impact. The owner, Merlin, says the crash has already cost it a £14 million drop in revenue. But last year the company's pre-tax profits rose to £250 million. Today's fine of £5 million represents just 2% of its annual profit. Its chief executive stands to earn over £1 million in bonuses over the next 2 years, but today he apologised.
The far bigger punishment for all of us is the knowledge that on this occasion we let people down with such devastating consequences.
One of them was Chanda Chauhan, who suffered internal injuries. She said today's fine makes little difference to her.
Justice has to be done, but for us, we're still sort of struggling on a day-to-day basis. This is really irrelevant to our own problems.
But the judge said today was not about putting a price on the injuries suffered by the victims, whose futures have been irreversibly changed. Ben Chapman, News at 10, Stafford Crown Court.
There's a surprise around every corner at CBeebies Land.
Come on, this way.
Look out for the new Go Jetters ride and Furchester Hotel live show only at Alton Towers Resort.
Full speed ahead, Go Jetters.
Whee! Come on in. Over here.
And new for 2017, the UK's only CBeebies Land hotel, designed for little guests. Book now at altontowers.com.
Staffordshire theme park Alton Towers will close for the winter after this weekend, but there's already a buzz about next season. ITV News Central has been given a first look inside its newest attraction 4 months before it opens.
The latest ride is the first new one to open since the Smiler crash in 2015, when 4 young people were left with serious injuries. The park says safety lessons have been learned, as Andy Bevan reports.
It's known only as SW8, Secret Weapon 8, but it's just a few weeks away from completion. With 40 shipping containers worth of timber sourced from a forest owned by the American company building it, this wooden roller coaster is a move away from the steel structures that fill most other theme parks in Britain. Work started on SW8 just over 2 years ago on the site of the old Flume ride in the centre of Alton Towers. That had been a favourite for 34 years, counting royalty among its thousands of soaked thrill seekers. Now the wooden swirls of SW8 are taking its place, with 50,000 tonnes of earth moved and an army of more than 100 construction workers pouring 40 concrete blocks into the ground to form the new foundations. The theme of the new ride is shrouded literally in secrecy, with its 6-storey centrepiece tantalisingly draped in tarpaulin. But the man whose creativity is slowly becoming a reality says it won't just be a roller coaster made out of wood.
The wooden roller coaster itself is just one small part of the experience. Once you're in there and you are going through the theatrical experience, you're hearing the story, you'll completely forget about that. And actually this is one of the most compelling themed attractions that we've built in a very long time.
SW8 will no doubt be Alton Towers' big talking point for 2018, but the park is still working hard to regain visitors' trust after the accident on its Smiler ride in June 2015. The collision of 2 carriages on the ride left 4 young people with horrific injuries and saw parent company Merlin Entertainments fined £5 million for breaches of health and safety. Smiler was reopened 9 months later, but the park says lessons have been learned.
Safety is the #1 priority for us, for our guests and for our staff. It starts with a real root branch review of what we've been doing, and we've doubled up on a lot of the things that we've had in the past around the focus on safety and our processes and how we manage rides as a whole.
The 2,000 feet of track of the new ride will be tested 500 times with the ride cars containing water-filled dummies. The whole thing will then be extensively retested using real people. And real people, plus a few seasonal visitors from the dark side, were certainly excited by what they glimpsed through the viewing windows surrounding the build site.
Actually, in person, it was fantastic. I can't wait to ride.
It looks like it's going to be a long roller coaster that doesn't end before you know it.
It looks awesome. Can't wait for next year.
SW8 is due to debut when Alton Towers reopens after its winter break next March. By then we should know its name and what to expect from this timber-framed giant. But what no one can predict, though, is how long you might have to queue to get on it. Andy Bevan, ITV News.
We're coming in. Book now at altontowers.com. Pay for the day, come back free all year.
When I first heard that Alton Towers was doing stargazing pods, I was so excited.
Got the comfort, but it's the still sort of outdoorsy kind of vibe, which we really enjoy.
So
this evening there's a lot of things going on. There's some entertainment. I'll be doing a little bit about what got me interested in astronomy, and we've even got Sir Alton on coming along to talk about the inspiration of the stargazing pods and why he decided to create them here at Alton Towers.
It's a really nice way to just have time together as a family and chill out and stargaze.
That was amazing. Thank you so
We
much.
were in your song. Thank you so much. Thank you. Where now? We'll just explain where you can be seen now. If anyone wants to watch you live, you can catch their big band live show. It's at Alton Towers. Thank you very much indeed.
See you.
Thank you.
Alton Towers, standing as a monument to fun and thrills. But journey beneath, and you will discover a world to make you laugh and scream. Dare you enter the dungeon, traitor? You meet all sorts down here. They'll make you scream with laughter. You're not scared of the dark, are you? Alton Towers, the Gothic seat of the Earls of Shrewsbury, has a secret. Beneath the towers flows the Black River, taking sinners to meet their fate. There is room for you too, traitor. Your fate awaits. Justice of the Peace, the Dishonourable Bishop of Stafford, judge of the Alton Towers dungeon. Take the stand in his courtroom to plead your case.
You peasant! 20 years hard labour for horse theft. You maggot! Stretched on the rack for naked debauchery. You! I've seen your internet search history. It's the Alton Towers dungeon for you.
Legend says that Molly Lee was a witch. The Witch of Burslem, forever cursed, forever bound to her grave. Or maybe not forever. Molly Lee, you can't catch me. The Alton Towers dungeon. Laugh and scream through Staffordshire's darkest history. Do you have the heart to survive the plague? Or have the guts to face the torturer? Or keep your nerve in Dick Turpin's hideout? Find out at the Alton Towers dungeon.
When will you unleash the power of the towers? Buy an Alton Towers season pass. Pay for a day, come back free all season.
Alton Towers Resort very much looks forward to welcoming you back. It's not been the same without you. Our priority is the safety of both our visitors and our staff, so things are going to be a little bit different when you visit. But don't worry, you'll still be sharing massive giggles, mega thrills and major glee with your family and friends. Here are a few things to bear in mind to ensure you have unforgettable fun while staying safe at Alton Towers Resort. We've switched to online booking only. You must book in advance before you can visit us at altontowers.com/tickets. This is so we can manage the numbers and keep everyone safe. New parking directions have been designed to help you keep a safe distance from others the moment you arrive. Our brilliant attentive team will carry out a contactless temperature check, excluding babies. If your temperature is 37.8 degrees or above, you will not be permitted to enter. If you have COVID-19 symptoms, please do not visit the resort. To help maintain the highest hygiene standards, please wear a face covering whilst visiting the park, so that everyone can enjoy an awesome time safely. Face coverings are compulsory on our roller coasters, as well as some of our family attractions for both adults and children. Face masks will be available to purchase during your visit. Please use your card or phone to make contactless payments. Please keep a safe distance between your party and other households. That way everyone stays safe and has a thrilling experience. And look out for our new safety signage to help you have a phantasmical time with your friends and family. Floor markers have been placed across the resort to keep you a safe distance from others in queue lines, attractions and shops. There are loads of opportunities for you to wash your hands at our hand sanitizer stations dotted all around the resort. Social distancing will be implemented on our awesomely amazing rides and at our fantabulous attractions, live shows and entertainment. Some experiences may be temporarily closed. Details can be found on our website. So that's it, you're good to go. Alton Towers Resort is back and we can't wait to put a ginormous smile back on your face.
Looking on longingly, visitors to the gardens at Alton Towers today stopped to watch empty roller coasters hurtle around the track. The hope here is in 2 weeks' time, those same people could actually be on board.
We are keen to open, but we're only keen to open in a safe way. So lots of people want to get out and start having fun after the lockdown, but it's only fun if it's safe.
Lockdown meant Alton Towers closed the day before it was meant to open for the 2020 season. The last few months have been spent getting the park safe so visitors can return as soon as they're allowed.
When guests visit a ride such as this one, they'll have the option to sanitise their hands before they board the ride. And when you get off, our ride staff will take on to enhanced cleaning regimes, which will include sanitize the lap bars, the handles that you use. People obviously grip tight when they're going around, so you can clean those handles as well.
The biggest challenge by far, though, is social distancing, and whether that's 2 metres or 1 will make a huge difference. This is Wickerman, and in normal circumstances it can take 24 people each ride. But when social distancing comes into play at 2 metres, that could be reduced to as few as 6. But if you go to just 1 metre, things change dramatically, and in fact this ride could go at full capacity. One of those at the park today was Sean Sambrook from Utoxeter. With almost 250,000 YouTube followers, he's regarded as one of the country's biggest theme park influencers.
You still can't take away that feeling of being on a roller coaster, whether there's just one person on there or 20 people. It's that feeling of going on the roller coaster that is not going to be taken away, even if we do have to wear masks or if we're sitting away from our friends.
But it's not just the rides. Alton Towers have 5 hotels which can accommodate around 2,000 people. Here too, they're having to make big changes.
We need to get the doors open and get up and running, and then we'll learn very, very quickly, I would imagine, within the first 24 hours. I think from a cleaning perspective, everybody will be walking around with something in their hands and some sort of disinfectant, so that we're, all of us, walking around are constantly cleaning everything, every touch point, everywhere.
There's been a sharp increase in ticket sales since rumours of a 4th of July opening. But with capacity limited, those who do get a ticket will have a very different experience from the moment they arrive.
And Ben is live at the park this evening. They're obviously extremely confident, Ben, they can get going in the next couple of weeks then.
Well, yeah, a few hundred through the doors to go to the garden today. There'll be a lot more than that, obviously, if they can open on July the 4th. One of the people very much hoping that will be the case is Emma Cattrall, who is Divisional Director here at the Alton Towers Resort. Emma, from your point of view, how tough has it been? You haven't even opened this year, have you?
We haven't, and I think that's one of the hardest things, particularly on our team. We were ready to open, we were due to open in late March, and we closed just the day before. So ever since then we've had a skeleton staff on site looking after the grounds, the rides, the fish in our aquarium. But what we're really looking forward to now is starting to bring our teams back, welcoming our guests back and putting smiles on people's faces.
So what do you want to hear from the government with this July the 4th announcement tomorrow?
I think what we're after, what the whole of the hospitality sector is after, is clarity. We really need to hear confirmation of that July the 4th date and confirmation of the guidance that we need to follow. And of course, if 2 metres is moving to 1 metre, that makes a significant difference to our preparations.
And it is really key, isn't it? We saw there that, you know, the rides, everything. That 1 metre rather than 2 metres will change everything for you, won't it?
It will. It'll mean we can welcome more people into our hotels, more people into our water park, and as you saw, seat more people on our rides, still in a safe and sensible way.
Well, obviously, when the theme park does open, and they're hoping here it will be July the 4th, as we saw, things will be very different. Social distancing rules in place and possibly longer queues and less people on those rides. But there are the hope, and there is the hope there, and across the other theme parks and attractions in the West Midlands, that the government will give them the go-ahead at some point tomorrow.
Ben Sidwell, thank you.
Fun can fly, big stage, roller disco.
There's jewels, suits of armour and sticks of dynamite, the result of David Walliams' imagination meeting Alton Towers. The final preparations are being made here to a ride based on one of the comic's #1 best-selling children's books.
The story of Gangster Granny is about a boy called Ben who thinks his granny is boring until one day he finds out she is an international jewel thief. And together they go on an adventure to steal the crown jewels.
Our ride system is a combination of special effects, projection mapping, a vehicle that can move and stop and start, it can spin, it can help us tell that story. And we've also got fun gags that you might have in there, like smells, maybe of cabbage soup. So really it's a special effects kind of laden adventure.
And turning David's ideas into a theme park adventure has taken 2.5 years of work. It's nearly ready to open, and I've been to see the work in progress.
So this is the start of the ride. Tell me what are people going to see at the beginning?
So they'll get on board this 8-seater Royal Tour box, which will enter into our first scene, where they think they're going to see the Crown Jewel Tour, a 9-hour journey, the history of the royal family. But just as it turns into this scene, Ben and Granny actually stop the tour and invite our guests to join them on the heist of a lifetime to actually steal those crown jewels.
And then the rest of the ride, I presume, is on that stealing the jewels.
And then it's the chase and the excitement of actually stealing those jewels, yes.
And key to the enjoyment of that chase are these specially made cars, designed by Derby-based company Garmondale.
Making the vehicle dance and sing and do the magic, as we call it, that bit's been okay. And normally within our realms, but then interacting with the scenery, the AV and the special effects, syncing it all together is the key, and that's the tricky part, but yeah, still rewarding though.
And just as rewarding, all this money on display in the ride.
Clearly there's a lot of money and a lot of jewellery down here. It looks very nice. So what part of the story is this?
So this is part of the story where Ben and Granny attempt to steal all these jewels, but they inadvertently set off the alarms, and this is where everything goes crazy. All the red flashing beacons, lots of loud alarms, and that's where the chase really begins.
Ooh. Those red flashing beacons and alarms are all part of the special effects on the ride, but there's plenty of physical props too, handmade by the theme parks team.
We're kind of at the stage now where most of the scenes have all the structural stuff in, but now it's all the finishing touches. So it's all those fine details that kind of really make everything come to life, all the little Easter eggs and the little hidden facts and everything. And it's kind of what really makes the ride exciting for everyone to see.
And some of those handmade items include the hull of HMS Belfast.
I presume this is part of the chase, but we look like we've come underwater.
Yes, so this is the point where Ben and Granny put on their wetsuits and we see them on this projected scrim here, swimming away from the feds. And this scene's really special because we've also incorporated 4D effects like bubbles to really convince you are underwater.
Wow. That attention to detail isn't just inside the ride. There's also a David Walliams world being created outside the Gangster Granny attraction. This space will host a special ride and shop based on another character from his books.
Well, this is the final turn of the ride that takes you towards the end. But no, we're not going to be showing you that because I've been told, like all good stories, I can't tell you the end.
People will be able to see it for themselves, though, when the ride opens and they experience Gangster Granny's adventures from the safety of their Crown Jewels tour carriage. Hannah Beshley, ITV News.